Welcome back to another Camp 8 podcast. I am your host, Rome, here with my dog, Mo. Got a special episode. He ain't being here in a minute. Obviously, if you're catching this on the pod on Apple, it wasn't live, but it's uploaded on YouTube, wherever you find your podcast, or on YouTube. And my dog ain't been here in a minute. Been a bit muted on the show, and he got a lot to get off his chest. So I'm not going to set up a show. I don't know what his topic is. I'm going to be almost like a guest, but he's producing this one, and I'm going to follow his lead. So, Mo, what you got for us?
Just real quick for the people, man. I miss y'all, and summer basketball is really big time for me. So that's what's taking me away from my love of. I love basketball. I love doing the pod. Love talking sports. Um, the key thing is this, man, is that uh, me and Rome typically talk on the phone about 4 or 5 days a week, usually about 2 3 hours a week. We talk on the phone. And I love those conversations. The downside of those conversations are we go heavy into sports, heavy into current events, wherever. And then when we do the podcast doesn't match the spontaneity and the energy of our phone conversations. So what I want to do is really try to bring the energy, the spontaneity, that we capture in our phone conversations to bring it to y'all on the pod. So that's the whole goal. So we don't have no playlist. We're gonna just go with a nice vibe. Starting off, let's start with my Detroit Pistons free agency, the trades and everything else. Ron, let me start with this. Okay, I think Trajan is really good at finding ancillary pieces. The number one job for Trajan right now, and it's been this way since the end of last season when we lost to the New York Knicks in the playoffs. At that point, it was pretty clear we have a franchise centerpiece in Cade Cunningham. Once you have a franchise centerpiece, the next move now is to get him a number two. Because you have a franchise centerpiece and a legit number two, now you're making a run for a championship.
How every team has
Okay?
done it since like 1970.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Trajan's job since the end of the 25 season when we lost to the Knicks was to get K to number two. Okay. Now, this offseason, let me back up. I hated Trajan's presser at the end of the year. His end of the year presser basically was like, it wasn't a bad year. When you're a number one seed and you've been the number one seed for majority of the year of the
Since
season,
November.
since November, you're the number one seed. You have home court. You're the second best record. I'm sorry, the third best record in the league, the best record in the East. So you have home court throughout the playoffs to go 7 games with the 8 seed and only win that one because a key player got injured. We're not gonna play ifs. Fact is, you win 7 games with the 8 seed. Lost to a 4 seed that you were up 2-0 against with home court advantage. To two guys that historically do not get it done in the playoffs. James Harden, Donovan Mitchell. Okay. For him to come back and say this year was not a disappointment, I wanted to slap him. I wanted to slap him. Now, we get to he's done no moves, no major moves to get a number two this offseason. Jalen Brown is traded for a bag of rocks to Philadelphia. All right. From Boston to Philadelphia. We've never heard that Trajan was interested in that trade, whether he called Brad Stevens. We never heard anything like that, linking Trajan even kicking the tires. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we hear the Pistons are interested in Kevin Durant. My question for you is this. Do you think Cade or his representative, his agent, put pressure on Trajan after the Jalen Brown trade? Like, what the hell are we doing?
I don't think it's inconclusive to say it came straight from Cade. But somebody in the building is like, dog, we're lagging far behind now. We're lagging behind now because Philly is forget the Joel Embiid. Like just throw Joel Embiid out like he's not even going to be there ever
There's
because as
still
we've seen in the
there's
playoffs, he's going to get hurt at some point. If you run it out there with Maxey, who is still on the climb of getting better. If you're running out there with VJ Edgecombe, who's approaching his second year, who would have been by far the second best player on the Pistons last year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not even debate.
And then you're adding a finals MVP in Jalen Brown, an
Second team
Eastern
All
Conference
NBA.
MVP, Jalen Brown.
Yeah.
Into that mix, you're saying that that team is better than us. Now, what people have to understand is this is a thing that the nerds don't get. You can take that sample size from the regular season, that 82 games, and that is one thing. That is important games. It decides seeding. It is a journey. It is an absolute monster of a schedule to go through. And I've always been a proponent, and me and you've been talking about this for 15 years. They shouldn't make it one game less. Because that is the point of the regular season, is that it is an absolute grueling task, right? And you take that sample size and you talk about a Jalen Brown and what he is and what he is not, and you can use that same thing with the Pistons of what they are in the regular season and what the record they had. But this playoffs is a different beast. It's different. It's strenuous. You already have went through this journey to get to the promise, to get to approaching the promised land, right? That's the big, large journey you got to go through. And then now you got to go through a whole different set of circumstances to get through the playoffs, to get to the mountaintop in the promised land, right? So the Pistons cannot rest on their laurels and say we were the number one seed last year. Even if we take a step back a little bit, we may drop the third or fourth. Right now in the playoff series, if they get through the season and all things are healthy and everybody, just got their regular season dings, the Philadelphia 76ers are a better team than the Detroit Pistons.
Correct.
Flat out.
That is correct. That's correct.
You said it, we won't play the what else or whatnot, but the fact remains is when Wagner was there, the Magic was up 3-1. When he went out, they lost 3 straight games. He was the primary defender on Cade. You can look it up. Cade went 45, 32, and 12, 32 to close out. That he was the primary defender on him. It's safe to say the Orlando Magic, when they were healthy, was a better team than the Detroit Pistons in the playoffs when you're getting to the promised land.
Losing Wagner in the series drastically altered the trajectory of the playoff series.
So
again, I think Orlando would have been a better team. I think they would have won.
That's where it was going. They had game 5. They were going back to the crib with game 5. Without Wagner, they had a 20-point lead at halftime. Without him. Right? So people could talk about all these other stuff and the stats, and we're going to get to Jalen Brown later, so I saved that. Trajan is doing him a disservice. To this date right now, we're recording this at 1:37 Central Standard Time. Jalen Durant is still not signed. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
Man. Like, again, his primary focus at this point is to get Cade a number 2 so we can make a push to win a championship.
Is it?
That's what it should be. That's what it should be. I don't know what it is. From the outside looking in, it does not. I would like Trajan to say to me, what is the championship window for the Pistons? Because it should be right now. It should be right now. Within the next 3 years, we should be winning the championship or making a push. I'm not saying it's a fair we don't win a championship. Not reaching the finals in the next 3 seasons would be a complete failure, and I think Cade's going to leave. If that happens, I don't think Cade's signing another contract after the one he's currently on. I don't think he is. If we don't get to the finals within 3 years.
And again, this bleeds into the Jalen Brown thing. I think the Cade is looking at it, and I think all the GMs and front offices are looking at it. We can't sign 2 guys to max contract money in today's CBA era. I think that is what the league is noticing, and this is what they're coming down to. And people are taking blame at the league, but I want to shift the focus to the Players Association because it takes 2 to tango on this.
Y'all agreed on this.
You
guys agreed on this.
You have shot yourself in the foot looking for big money for the big stars. Now the middle class is non-existent, and the lower class is non-existent. We were looking at the summer of 2016, and Bismack Biyombo got a 5-year, $75 million deal that year. That doesn't exist anymore. He was
No,
always a
no.
backup center, and he got
Right.
5 for 75. But now you got Devin Booker, who's going to be making 75 million. You got Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum making 60 million on one team, because that's a max that the superstars can sign. And make no doubt about it, those are the people that drives what gets done in the CBA from the Players Association
That's correct. That's
agreement.
correct. That's
It
correct.
started
That's
with Chris
correct.
Paul and LeBron spearheading it early. It carried on through CJ McCollum, and they're always looking at the top of what the max can make and not looking at the totality of how that affects the salary cap and everybody getting money.
Correct. Yeah, and it's again, these aprons, again, you're right. It takes two to tango. The collective bargaining agreement is just what it says. It's a collective bargaining agreement with the players association and the owners. So you guys have to see, if you sign this, if you agree to this, you're not gonna have two max superstars on the same team. Then later down the road, you guys are gonna be upset when you can't win a championship and you don't want the smoke that comes with not being a winner, but you set it up that way by agreeing to a CBA where you can't sign a secondary player. That's on you. That's on you. Last thing about Cade. So you do think Trajan's flirtation or interest in Kevin Durant came solely from the outside with somebody saying, "What are we doing?" Because
Yeah,
we were never, I've never heard any inkling of the Pistons thinking about Kevin Durant until after Jalen Brown was traded. So
yeah,
that
and
definitely makes me think something happened.
yeah, and there's been some slight rumors of Brandon Ingram being the guy that they're looking to pivot to as well, because they have Durant's bird rights, so they can make a move to bring somebody in and then re-sign him, and that will put him, I think, at a second April team. And Brandon Ingram has one more year plus a player option after this year. I don't know, man. I just think that the window was at All-Star break. We are the number one seed. We need to look at our team and compare them to the best teams in the league. We
Can
do
we beat
not
the
have
best teams in
enough
the league?
we do not have enough offensive firepower to get that done, and they should have made moves then.
Yeah, correct. Because again, we beat this like a dead horse. We have no clue when we will ever be the number one seed at the All-Star break. I mean, at the trade deadline. They may never happen again. Under Cade Cunningham's watch, with the Detroit Pistons, there's a high probability we will never be the number one seed at the trade deadline. When you are, it's like as the data comes in and it changes, then your plan has to change. Now, if we're the sixth seed at the trade deadline, okay, let's see how this plays out. You're the one seed, and getting a number two player automatically says you're contending with coming out of the East. Like, let's be clear. Losing to Cleveland, that got body slammed by the Knicks, we weren't close to the Knicks. We weren't close to being coming out of the East. Period. Not losing to Cleveland, being up 2-0.
For
So
sure.
I don't know. I don't understand Trajan's thinking. Um, Again, I think he's good at doing ancillary moves, like secondary, third players.
Isaiah Joe move is an amazing move.
I like
Amazing
it.
move.
Definitely, 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 definitely. I definitely think he's improved the roster, the depth of the roster. I definitely believe that it doesn't put us on
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
par
whoa, whoa,
with
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa.
Knicks.
No, 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 no. You can't say that when you lost two of your six best players. Two of your seven best players. They lost Tobias Harris and Isaiah Stewart. Love them or hate
Mhm.
them, they were two of the seven best players on the Pistons last
Yes,
year.
I think bringing back Jalen Duran and Isaiah Joe, I think we're better than we were. I think I like our talent better than it was last year. I really do. I get your point. Tobias Harris is a huge loss, um, a huge loss, and I'm not so John Collins is gonna is gonna fit in like that.
I
Tobias was a
sold it on that at
leader.
all.
Tobias Harris was a leader. Tobias Harris is a major reason why the culture changed and the Pistons got better over these past 2 years. He's a major reason for that. So taking that into consideration, I'm feeling you because he's a major loss. More than just the stats on the paper, his professionalism, what he brought to the locker room. Tobias Harris is a major reason why the Pistons changed from being 16 wins to the past 2 seasons. So I'm feeling you there. I'm feeling you whether the roster is better. I like Isaiah Joe move a lot. We needed a second scorer. Um, I just think we got to get a number two player. We got to get a number two player, and I'm I to me, this is looking like LeBron James' first 7 years with Cleveland, when you throwing Cade out there with some fucking trash. And then again, people don't want to hear this. We go 2, 3 years not getting to the finals, Cade's gonna leave. Get this through y'all head right now. Cade's not gonna stay here when everybody's saying you can't win, it's your fault, and the franchise is failing. Let's be very clear. At this point today, Trajan Landon has failed Cade Cunningham. Now he can change that. He can change that. I'm not saying this is what's gonna happen for the next 4 years. Trajan's number one job is to get Cade a number two that can elevate us to a championship level team. He has not done that. Every season he has not done that. He is failing Cade. Point blank in the story.
You're on the clock, right? Cade 50 next year, 53, 28, 29. That's 2 seasons. They need to figure this out because the 28, 29 is when the next year after that he has one more year, and then that's when he can hold you over the barrel and say, you know what, I'm done with this.
Yep.
And kid's a winner. He wants to win. He's not going to walk around and watch all these other teams get help. All these other guys get partners to run with him. Where are the Knicks going? Indy's coming back. Miami's putting something together, right? Where you go from here? Philly's on the way up.
We already talked about Philly.
So I don't know, man. Boston's going to come back. Boston's not. They made a bad move, and it seems to be a money move, but they want more championships in Boston. They are going to be coming back soon with another championship team. What is Detroit going to do?
They're not just doing that just for the sake of doing it. That's for sure. Now that's a good segue because I want to talk about not Jalen Brown, but the press conference that Brad Stevens and the ownership had, and it was funny. I love how the media treated him. The media was going like, "We're not listening to this," and they weren't even in sync in what they were saying. The owner made it very clear that it wasn't a financial decision. The move to make Jalen Brown wasn't based solely on financial. Brad tried to say that it was. In your opinion, what do you think the main reason was for trading Jalen Brown? What do you think a secondary reason was for trading Jalen Brown?
I think when the nerds go to their computers and they run their spreadsheets and play basketball in Microsoft Excel, it comes back to Jalen Brown being maybe 20th, maybe the 25th best player in the league, maybe the 15th, and then he's getting paid like a top 5 player. And then after that, they decide, you know what, we're going to go ahead and get rid of this.
It's crazy that you say that because the slander about Jalen Brown after the trade is absolutely sickening. Jalen Brown is easily a top 10 player in the league. Easily. And debatable top 5. Easily top 10. No one, including those nerds, thought Boston was going to win 56 games and be a number 2 seed without Jason Tatum. None of them thought that. I read somewhere where a general manager said, anonymous, obviously, they won't put the name on shit, that he was the 7th best player on the Celtics. That's laughable. That Derek White is better than him. That's absolutely laughable.
7th? That's like Neemias Queta is better than him, or Hugo Gonzalez. That's the same dude in the game 7 that started and scored 0 points, and then they held him out of the Giannis trade like he was like he was the second coming of Paolo Banchero or something. Like what?
It's unbelievable the slander that went towards him. Now, do you think so? So you think primary reason is the spreadsheet, which I do think Boston is. Let's be clear. Um, the idiot Daryl Morey came from Boston's front office. Prior to being in Houston, he was under Danny Ainge. Um, Boston is a very pro analytics team. Very pro analytics. When you hear Joe Mazzulla talk, a lot of times after losses, the reason why they lost, we didn't shoot enough threes. They're very pro. Different teams use analytics for different reasons. Me and you both agree that analytics has a place in basketball. It is not the end all be all to basketball. Like, can we study where a guy makes more shots at and try to run plays to get him shots in the areas that he shoots well from? Yes. Do we base 100% of our trades and everything on the numbers? No. There's more to basketball than just the numbers, obviously. And me and you think analytics has a place in basketball, but it's not the sole focus of what you do day in and day out. So I do think Boston, the nerds did that. I do think the contract played a role too. Because like you said, um, both of them two getting paid $600 million over the duration of the contract. That's a big number. That's a big number.
Well, that's what the aprons are hamstringing teams because you're always searching for value. And then the second you sign them to that contract, now it's not valuable anymore.
Right.
Phoenix is going to run into the same thing with Devin Booker.
No question.
The Cavaliers are going to run into the same thing with Donovan Mitchell in a year, maybe
Yes.
next year if they don't get LeBron.
Maybe next year. Yep. They don't get LeBron. They're going to talk about the contract that you just signed him to. Now let me ask you this: do you think the relationship between
Can you stop
Brown
saying let me ask you this and just ask the damn question?
Bro, you tripping? Do you think the relationship between Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum played any role in the trade as well?
I don't know. You know me. I'm a firm believer of you do not have to be friends off the court or talk to each other or hang out and be all buddy to be successful on the court. And I mean, you witnessed that firsthand with teams that I played on, like that we weren't all the tightest, even the best players. Like where there's only a couple hoopers, we wasn't the tightest people. We were cordial, we was cool, but we go on the court and do work. And that's obvious with the Celtics because reports come out now that they're saying that the relationship off the court was non-existent. Jalen Brown has a stream that he's been working on and doing different stuff with, and he said that Tatum would be joining the stream some point, and he never did. But at the same time, I've seen Jeff Teague on Club 520 pick up the phone and call Jason Tatum live during the show, and Jason Tatum pick up.
So that says a lot. That says a lot. Now, Jason Tatum's statement, his first statement after that, he made it sound like he was sympathetic. I didn't hear the whole thing, so I don't want to speculate. But it sounded like he didn't want the trade to happen. That he was surprised and didn't want the trade to happen. That's how it
Again,
sounded to me.
those things are mutually exclusive. I think it helps a team, no doubt about it. I think if it's negative energy towards each other, that could hurt a team. But if it's just like, hey, dude like to go play cards and pool. I like to go hunting and fishing. We not going to intersect like that. You can still be successful. Long as once you get in the room, you're making it work and you're pushing each other to be great in whatever ways. It is what it is. Now, I do think there was this year, and the Celtics and Jason Tatum had to look inward on this because he never should have came back this year. It was no reason. Healthy or not, they played a different style when Jalen Brown was the guy. They played much faster. Yep. He was the bailout guy. It's only one guy to go back to. Everybody else is just kind of playing within the system. Woo-woo. Now you're adding a second big piece. Now he's been used to getting that ball in these spots and these chances.
It changed
everything. And then Jason plays a lot slower style. I'm not saying one is better than the other because we all know every style can win if you execute the right way. Every style can win if you execute and make shots and get stops. Any style can win. We've seen zone win championships. We've seen three-point shoot win championships. We've seen hellified defense win championships. If you play the right way and you make shots and get stops, you can win, right? If you execute. So, but Tatum's style is contradictory to how they were playing. He's a slowdown. He's an ISO. He's a take his time, judge, and see what's going on guy. And there just was no reason to put him in. There is no the reason why they lost that series is because they put Tatum into the lineup towards the end of the season. If they kept the course and played how they were with the guys that they had, they beat Philly, no doubt about it in my mind. Because they even without that, they still were up 3-1.
Correct. Correct. Now, do you think this is funny to me? Do you think if Boston was in the lottery or in the playing game, do you think Jason Tatum comes back?
No.
Because I don't. I don't.
Nope.
I think Jason Tatum is, and I'm just speculating. I think Jason Tatum is gnawing at him that he didn't win the Finals MVP. It's gnawing at him that he didn't win the Eastern Conference MVP. It gnawed at him when they were having success without him. He sees them winning, and he's like, "Wait a second, bro. Y'all win without me. This puts Jalen like they they're on the same level. They go to the finals without him, dog. It's Jalen Brown's team. Period.
I'm gonna do you one better because we like to think in the historical context. And Jason's a Kobe guy, right? If we had reversed it, let's say that first championship, Shaq had got hurt or something like that, or whatever, and Kobe still wins the Finals MVP. You think the old saying of "I got hurt on company time, I'm a heal on company time"
See,
happens?
he coming right back. Shaq
No
coming right back.
sir, no
Shaq
sir,
coming right back.
no
Shaq
sir.
having that surgery over the summer. He's coming back first day of training camp in shape and ready to roll. And ready to roll. That
which would have been
Shaq.
which would have been much worse for the league, no doubt about it. Let's get this clear real quick. If Shaq had happened to not get one of those MVPs and Kobe got it, and then Kobe was leading the Lakers to like a 24-7 record to start, oh my God.
Yeah, bro. Shaq's coming back. Shaq's coming back, restoring order to the universe. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was the major reasons um for Jason coming back, and I think the tension. I don't say tension. I don't think it was tension. I just think they didn't really mess with each other. And again, you don't. There's a million ways to skin a cat. You don't have to be buddy buddy off the court to have success on the court. You don't. Long as it's not negative energy. And I don't think it was ever negative energy. I don't think it was that. I do feel that Jalen Brown being intelligent, being a man that carries himself with confidence, and also not going out of his way to make white people feel comfortable, didn't play out well in Boston. I think the upper brass, I don't think they disliked him. Let me make sure I say this correctly. I think people in management front office positions, they like their athletes to be a certain way when talking to them.
Particularly
I
black
don't
athletes.
black athletes, black athletes. I don't think I'm speculating, but I feel very confident saying this. They did not like that Jalen Brown does not go out of his way to make them feel comfortable. He's not smiling all the time. They don't like the topic of his conversations. He's a
I
very
mean, they said it
intelligent man.
verbatim, Mo. Sometimes he feel like he the smartest person in the room. You mean
Because
to
he
tell me?
is.
You mean to tell me a dude that's in taking master's classes at Cal on the chess team and got accepted to a NASA internship and also is the youngest person to give a Harvard lecture? You think that guy walks
He,
around humbly and does not think that he's way smarter than most people?
because
He
he is.
is.
Right. Right. He is. And the fact is, to certain people, again, I think because he's black, with all his credentials in education, they still don't want him to walk around like that. They want him to be meek, humble, and jovial. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. That man is smart. That man is extremely intelligent off the basketball court. One of the smartest guys in the NBA, and he should carry himself as such. And I do believe that played a small role in getting him trade. Now we're gonna segue into the Phoenix Suns. I want to ask you, why did Koa Pete drop to number 30? Because that's shocking to me.
You can't shoot. Simple and plain.
Oh,
Can't shoot.
He changed. I don't understand this. He did have a great shooting year at U of A. He had a very good season as a freshman. Wasn't a great shooter. Before the draft combine, he got a new shooting coach and basically changed his shot. And he shot horrifically at the draft combine. That played a large role in him falling in the draft. Which even before the draft combine, I think he was probably like high teens, early 20s. So he had failed some. Not that he failed, but other players had leapfrogged over him. Now, one of the hardest things about professional sports and the draft is being able to say, okay, we like this guy. What will he become after he's paid? After he's paid and he's drafted and he got some money, what will his work ethic be like? Will he still be continue to be coachable? What will he be after all these good things happen? Now, to me, and just on the outside looking in, I thought Cam Boozer, AJ, and Koa, I feel very secure in they're going to keep working hard after the draft and everything. Obviously, I don't think teams looked at that because he fell to 30th. I don't think teams looked at that. Does that factor into you, if you were a general manager, does it factor into you how you think a guy will still carry that hunger and still grind after they get those big checks? Does that matter to you as a general if you're a general manager?
There is this is an issue right here. Um, Recently they had the Jaden Ivey situation. Whatever happened with him, he talks a lot religiously, and you know, to each his own. You know what I'm saying? How you present yourself in that way. And we heard Koa Pete have in a press conference a lot similar, um, you know, conversations around him and how he feels about it. And I think there has to be some trepidation because, like you said, now that you're paid, is this the mountaintop to be able to get you to do, what you want to be able to do at this point? Or do you want to fulfill all the destinies that basketball has in front of you? And I think for that reason alone, outside of the shooting, I would have dropped him sub if I, had that
Got you.
type of intel because it's just too big of a gamble, man. Like
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
we're taking
yeah.
you to the lottery. The lottery contracts are not cheap. Those lottery slotted rookies take up a nice chunk of change. We already talked about how the
And
middle
they
class
and
in
they
the
and they,
NBA is
guar- and
non-existent.
they guarantee contract and the guarantee
They're
contracts. The
guaranteed
guarantee contracts.
contracts, and we have other prospects right here that may love the game. Right? We say this every single year. In the top 20, on average, in every or back up in every NBA draft, there is somewhere between 20 to 25 NBA players. Could be higher, could be less. And I'm not talking about just all stars. I'm talking about just when
No,
I say
guys that
NBA
play
players, they are going to get
seven,
an
eight
NBA
years.
pension for the rest of their life.
Correct.
That type. They're going to play the
Yep.
minimum of 9 or 8 years or whatever it is to be able to get
To
an
get the
NBA
pension.
pension. They're 20 to 25 in every draft. Now, where those guys are at, we don't know. We've seen number 2 picks not last past the first contract. We've seen a second round pick that was drafted during the Taco Bell commercial become one of the 15 greatest players of all time. I don't know, right? But it's on the GM job to find them. If you make those misses, those are, you just adding a couple letters to your firing letter because you can't miss on draft picks in this league. You
No,
absolutely
not
cannot.
not consistently. Not consistently. You're
Yeah.
setting the organization back years when you miss on draft picks. Yeah, I don't. Again, I this is where this is going to get tricky for Devin Booker because, in my opinion, by Phoenix drafting a hometown hero, to me, they're going to make the focus. They're not going to try to win. They're going to make the focus. We got this hometown hero. Come out and see him. I can't see Devin Booker being happy, not making the playoffs, not being able to make a run. I would be shocked if Devin Booker plays. If he finishes this season, I'd be kind of surprised. If he finishes 2 seasons, I'll be shocked. I think he's getting traded within this season or next season. Devin Booker will not be on the Phoenix Suns. I don't see it. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like he wants to win. They're not. The Phoenix Suns are not projected to be a championship caliber team. Nowhere in the distant, nowhere in the near future. Nowhere in the near future.
It's funny because he's on the exact same contract extension timeline as Cade Cunningham as well. And if I had my if you could go reach out to get anybody, I don't think Matt Ishbia and the Phoenix Sun Brass want to get rid of him. I think he's a huge
They don't.
attraction.
Yes.
I do think Matt Ishbia wants to win. I just don't think he knows how. How?
Correct. 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 I do think he wants to win also.
But that would be the guy I would be targeting if I was Detroit to bring in and be the second fiddle to Cade. I would have targeted him last year. I would have traded whatever I could to get it done.
Correct.
But Phoenix, I think, like I said, I think Phoenix is trying to win. They traded for Miles Bridges, a Michigan State guy. Matt Ishbia is a Michigan State guy. They got Dylan Brooks. They made the playoffs last year. Booker is a top 15, top 20 guy in the league for sure. Could they get over the hump? I don't think so in the West to make any real noise. Like you said, the hometown hero is one thing, but could dude get on the court?
Yes. Can he get on the court to help us win games? I don't see that. I just, to me, if Cole is playing a lot, to me that says it's more about development than it is winning.
Or he could get it there. I mean, I'm very high on the upside of Cole, right? Don't make a doubt about it. There's guys in the league that have contributed greatly in those playoff runs that could not shoot. Mitchell Robinson being the chief amongst them, right? But he brings A+ offensive rebounding to the table. Cole has to find that niche. If it's not going to be shooting, what do you bring that's an A or A level higher talent?
That's gonna help us win games. And I don't know, man. I don't see. Phoenix is in that purgatory that you really don't want to be in the NBA. When you're good enough to make the playoffs, but losing the first round, that is a miserable spot to be in because you can't. You're not gonna get the draft picks to get somebody high, and it's like you don't have any. You only have one really good player that you could trade to get assets. So like you don't want to be where you're 6 through 10 and you can't win past the first round. Like, that's not where you want to be at. That's where the Grand Hill Pistons were at, where we were a 4 or 5 seed and couldn't get past the first round. And I mean, I'm not trying to take a shot at Grant. It's just that's not where you want to be at. It's like if you're there, you want to take a step backwards to take a major step forward. Because if you're there, man, you're not getting a good enough draft pick to help you win. You don't have a championship window, and you usually only got one really elite player. So it's like it's not a good place to be, man. If the goal is to win a championship, that's not where you want to be at. That's not where you want to be at.
So where's LeBron going?
That's my next one, man. Listen, I'm a LeBron James fan, and what Rich Paul is doing online with his podcast is just shameful. Like, I don't. A part of me understands that LeBron and Rich are social media babies, so like their rabbit ears are way higher than players of his echelon. Like, the funny thing is this: like, even during this World Cup, where Messi is just playing like sick. Messi's not a Messi came up and he played before the social media era, but Messi don't give a shit about social media. Messi doesn't have a social media presence. He don't give a shit about that. Messi wants to win and then the money that comes with it. That's it. That's it. He don't do a bunch of commercials. Adidas begs him to do stuff. He don't do a bunch of commercials.
The funniest thing when he does do commercial, he don't speak.
He don't even talk in the commercials. He doesn't even talk. He's the biggest athlete in the world, and he has almost zero social media presence that he pushes. I say all that to like I get it with LeBron and them, man. I just wish, like Rich doing this stuff, man. It's just like it should be so beneath them. It makes me cringe. I really don't like seeing it. I wish LeBron and Rich carried themselves better than that. My fault for talking so long. I think he's going to Cleveland. I think
Well,
he's going to Cleveland.
I take a different
Cleveland
angle, and
or the
I push
Knicks or the Knicks.
I push back on that a little bit just because if it's not this guy, then who will get the leash to be able to do it? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I would have much more problem if it was somebody that didn't have such a decorated career. And make no doubt about it, before he got so much of the decorated career, he's been like this. Is more of his personality and what than earned before. But at this point, he's almost earned the right to still be like. Honestly, LeBron is what top 30 at the least. Like if you're judging him on his
facts,
worst day,
facts.
he's
Yes,
still top 30 in the
worse,
league.
no question. Maybe top 20, maybe
I, I,
20 to 30 range.
again, I'm
Yeah,
saying, I'm
20 to
saying,
30
I'm
range.
saying at his worst. I'm saying like
Yes,
if you're just looking
yes,
completely negative, you're still gonna have him like top 30. And it's like it's mind boggling at this point. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
He played against
yes,
guys born in 1967. He played against a guy born in 1967. I'm drawing a blank on the name. He's playing against Cooper Flagg, who was born in like 2007 or something, or 2008 or something like that. Like
yes. When he
it's
got
ridiculous.
after you graduated high school, you know what I'm saying? So no,
Yeah.
I agree with you. That part of it is definitely true. Like he's definitely, even at his worst, man, he's still a very high impact player. Like right now today, he's a very high impact player. Can he be your first or second best player? Probably not. If he's your third best player, you got a really good team. If
I
you're
mean,
LeBron James and he's your third best player, you got a really good team.
and if you've been listening to the pod, obviously I would love him to sign in Miami. I think he fits. I think it'd be an awesome book into the story. And
Oh
as I said
man.
before, rich people go to retire in Florida.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Um,
I wish he would, man. I really, to me, man, I really like I think he's going back to Cleveland, but I wish he would go back to Miami because I just think with the coaching, the talent, that's the best place for him to make a run. Like if I'm him, I'm trusting Giannis and Bam, Pat Riley and Spo. Even though the guy probably getting older, I'm trusting that setup more than I am Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, the coach, and I'm trusting Miami way more. If I'm LeBron, if I was LeBron in the circle, I would say go to Miami. Especially when Rich came out and said, I don't know if Rich said this or not. The report came out that LeBron told Rich that money's not the issue. That money's not
well,
the issue. So it's
well, there is no money. There's no money nowhere that you want to go. Like
right.
the Brooklyn Nets got some money, but you don't want to go there, right? Like
right, right.
so,
There's
it
no
can't
money.
be an
There's no
issue, my
money.
brother.
Yeah, yeah. There's nowhere that you're gonna win at that has any available money for you.
You
So if
go,
you want to
you can go
win,
play for the Shanghai Sharks. They'll offer you a city.
and wear Steph's ling lings while you out there, wear those ling lings, man. So uh so listen, bro. So that's what I got for today's show. I got a lot off my chest. I feel a lot better. I feel like it was like a weighted vest that I was carrying all this time that I couldn't take to the people.
I didn't think you went
So
hard. I don't think you went hard enough. I don't think you going. You a little bit reserved. I don't know if it's people in the house or something like that, but you know, I've seen
no,
much
it's
worse in the individual conversation. Like you said, you started at the top talking about the individual conversation. The individual conversation is way different.
yeah, I gotta do a better job. And I'm really pissed at Trajan, but I'm waiting to see for the final leg to drop. Because right
Oh,
now he can
you don't
still
want to. You don't
he,
want to be out there with your cards on the table publicly because the
until
internet
he's
lives forever.
yes, yes. I'm waiting for him when we start this season, the way it's looking with the running back. Now I'm coming with a flying karate kick. Now I'm coming with a drop kick. I'm not playing with him then. Now I'm not playing with him. Right now, there's still a chance, although I don't think he's gonna do anything, there's still a chance for Trajan to make a move and get that player. We open up the season and basically hashtag running back. Now I'm slapping him on eye contact. Now I'm coming. Now I'm not. There's no holds bar now. There's no holds bar. So I mean, he got a chance. Tracy, you got a chance. You got a chance, bro. You doing Cade foul as fuck. Let me make that clear. You're doing Cade foul as fuck.
So before I leave here, it's Wednesday. The new episode of X-Men 97 just came out, episode 4. And I'm going to be putting this up against any TV show that anybody can reference. It's a cartoon. It's about comics. I don't care. The writing, the dialogue, the bars they're dropping, the use of power, the action, the storyline on how everything's connect is something that I haven't seen this since The Wire. Like the use, no, back up, since Breaking Bad. I haven't seen this level of drama and bars and lines that you can drop in a long time. I hope that you all get a chance to watch and catch up if you haven't. But if you've been watching, please keep watching. It has been absolutely amazing. And the end credit scene was even more amazing to see where that's going next. So stay tuned.
And let's ask you this question. I give them this. I didn't see this season yet, but I saw the first season. They
Did
really
you?
wrote
You
Cyclops
didn't tell
perfect.
me.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I really love how they wrote Cyclops. I love how they wrote Cyclops. And I gotta start watching this one too. I gotta watch the new season now. So I can bring something to the table to the pod.
Yeah, no. This season is heavy, and you were around for the origination of all this, so you know
Yes.
how
Yes.
important these specific characters are. And this season
Yes.
is the apocalypse, just all in all his just to show why he's the most devastating X-Men villain. He's showing it right now, and it's been amazing, man. We've had some guest appearances from some different people. We bounced around in time, which you don't love as much, but it's a part of comic book lore, bounce around
Yes, it
time.
is. It is. It
Um,
is.
but it's been well done. Like it hasn't been savvy. It hasn't been to do something just because. It's all been connected. And like I said, man, these first 4 episodes, and from what I hear from the people, once we get to 5 is when it takes off. I'm
Oh wow.
in love 1 through 4, and like this is just all the appetizer. From everything that I've
So
heard, Mo, 5 is when it goes completely off the rail.
okay, you say they bringing the ribeye steak out episode 5.
Yes, but the wings and the tater tots and the loaded French fries have been amazing. I'm talking about like I'm full. I'm like, damn, the tater skins, man, the little barbecue saute shrimp.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn. You mean we got steak coming?
after all this,
For real.
well, let's wrap
Yeah.
this baby up, bro.
All
And
right,
I'm
man.
really
Well,
excited to be back on the pod. And we'll drop in sometime real soon. I'm gonna binge watch some of that X-Men 97 so I can bring something to the table. But I'm excited to get back to the pod.
all right, man. Catch y'all in a few. Peace.
Can't bite.